Right. Now, another change of leadership within former President Jacob Zuma's party, Umkhonto weSizwe, where the party had suspended its deputy president, Dr. John Hlophe, with immediate effect. That was the news yesterday. His suspension had followed President Jacob Zuma's return from a trip to Burkina Faso, after which he was briefed about changes effected in the National Assembly. Colleen Makhubele was removed as the party's chief whip in Parliament and was replaced by Des van Rooyen, a decision that has since been nullified. Zuma has also removed Hlophe from all leadership roles pending a full investigation into his conduct. Professor of Politics from UNISA, Professor Dirk Kotze, joins us now for more on this conversation. Professor Kotze, I hope you'll excuse us if we cut this short at some stage, just because of the other breaking news stories that we are following, that of Malusi Gigaba, plus that of the suspended police minister, Senzo Mchunu, handing over all his devices as well to South African Police Service. But let's get straight into this. To say that the MK party is in turmoil would surely be a bit of an understatement, considering the amount of leadership changes that have happened. Your thoughts?
Good morning. Yes, indeed so. And I think it has started with, the Secretaries General, then the Treasurers General, then the Chief Whip. And now it is, again, the moment President Zuma was outside the country and not sort of guarding what is happening with the MK, it looked like the Deputy President wanted to take that opportunity to make his own moves. And now President Zuma came back and re-established himself. So what we are seeing is that it is a highly centralized situation within MK party. Their constitution determines it like that. So it's not in their own context unconstitutional, but it just demonstrates how much everything centers around President Zuma. And all decisions, despite the fact that he appears to become older now, still is to a large extent in his hands, or it must at least be condoned by him. But at the same time, I think it creates a sense of uncertainty within MK.
Yeah.
Take, for example, the position of Floyd Shivambu. He was an up-and-coming person within MK. He was moved sidelined to the sideways. So it does not provide for a second level or second generation within MK to develop. And I think this is something which for the moment might work for them, but for the long-term future, it might have devastating effects.
Yeah, and I mean, the party has always held that they maintain discipline, they're accountable, plus they have collective decision-making. But you can clearly tell that there is no collective decision-making in that sense when one takes a look at the recent decisions. There's been no internal elections that have been held. All senior appointments are made by Jacob Zuma. What does this tell us about the internal governance of the MK party and even the decision-making structures? Are they completely weakened?
Well, that's how they want it. That's how the Constitution determines it. When the Constitution was made public a year or so ago, this is exactly what it said. No elections in the MK. Every decision must come back to be accepted, condoned, justified by the president of MK. Even what they call the National Command, which is similar to a National Executive Committee of most parties, are not elected. They are appointed. So that means that what we are seeing here is, again, as I said earlier on, highly centralized. It is a highly integrated party in that respect, around a very small group of persons. And it does not allow for centers of power to develop within the party. Again, Floyd Shivambu could have been a good example of where he could have developed a position as Secretary General that's not in competition with other positions like that of President Zuma, but that has been able to expand the power base of MK party. I think what President Zuma has in mind, he does not want any form of opposition to develop or any strong persons to develop within the party, because he will regard that as potential opposition for him personally.
Yeah. What do you think this does for voters? Does it even matter for them that there are changes that are happening in and around the leadership? As long as the face is still Jacob Zuma, surely it doesn't matter to some of them.
Well, I think those who have for example, voted last year for MK, especially those in KwaZulu-Natal and to a lesser extent in Mpumalanga and Gauteng, I don't think for them it matters so much. But what it does, for whom it does matter, is those persons who are, for example, in the ANC. They are looking for alternatives, and they look at MK as a possibility. But given the culture of the ANC as being, on the other hand, internally a very contested party with many types of elections and processes, it's very much a different type of situation. So I would say, especially for younger persons, younger potential voters, who are not don't want to be in a situation where they are dictated what to do.
Yeah.